Okay, now we're going to cover the inventory fuse panel. And as you remember from the general navigations video, if you click on the color panel, it'll repopulate the dashboard. So you can see that the inventory information has repopulated. The other two options you have are the chevron, will give you an abbreviated menu of the available offerings that will take you directly to those pages. Or if you click on the hub name, inventory, it will take you to the fuse panel for inventory and the variety of options that are available there. Everything on this page drives from the invoice, whether it's electronically received or manually entered. And so I'm going to show you those two options. You can see here invoices that have come in, and they're going to be sorted by the most recent. Once again, you can click the header and sort it in a different sequence if you would like. You can sort it by the dollar amount. This would be useful if you were looking for a particular credit. So I resorted that, and you can go down through here and look to see if you received a credit that you were looking for. And that saves you from having to spend time contacting a sales rep. And the detail for the invoice gives you the date you received it, the invoice number from that vendor, and the vendor that you received it from, along with the total. And then, as you notice, the date is blue, so that's a hyperlink. If you click that, it's going to open up the invoice. It's telling you it defaults to 10 on the view, and you can navigate to any one of those pages. You could click the headers and sort it alphabetically, or you can sort it by what you spent the most money on if you chose to. That's totally up to you, but once again, this is for your review, or you could export it to a PDF document if you wanted to review it. And then the name of the file will be what you see here. So it's telling you the date you received it, the restaurant that received it, who it was from, and their invoice number. And that's how the invoice would look there. If you are handling manual invoices, here where you see the wrench is a edit menu, and manual invoice is your option there. And you click on that. These are those invoices that you have to manually enter. So whether you're coming to review one or you're creating one, this is where you would do that. And you see the load button here. I'm going to show you the variety of manual invoices that are already in there. Once again, they're in by most recently received, but you can sort this by just clicking the header so you can see who it was from. You could also come here and put in the name of a vendor. So if we type Cisco, those are electronic. Nothing's going to show up for them. I don't know the name of your vendors well enough. There we go. Let's see some of the other names of who you're receiving from, and you will know those, so you would just search for them. And you could load a particular invoice. Let's just, for instance, say you discovered that when you entered this particular invoice on September 7th, you made an error and you needed to correct it. You could come here and reload this invoice and edit whatever the error might have been, and so that you would just open it up, and you can change whatever you needed to change, if it was the quantity or the way you entered the pack size or the price, and then save that edit and save the invoice, and then it would be loaded and corrected the way you wanted. Additionally, entering of a manual invoice could be done by just coming here and starting to type the vendor's name, which I cheated and saw that name, so I'll just pick one of those two. All I typed was GL, and it brought up everything with that in there. And so let's just say it was Golden Eagle. You would enter the unique invoice number. You're going to be required to enter that. If you don't put one in, it won't save it. And then you enter the date that you received that invoice. And then you come here and just hit Add Items, and you can begin adding. You'll notice that once you've entered one, when you start typing a number, it will come up here automatically. You can also start by typing a name. So if it was, you don't have to type out the whole Coors Light long neck bottle. You can just type it, click the name, and then you can see that it populated with the item number that was created for it, the way it's all set up. And if all you would edit is if you received a different quantity or if the price changed. And then you just add that item, and you'll see that it adds it here for you. Now I'm not going to save this because we were just playing around, so I'll clear. Another way to enter a manual invoice, once you've already entered some, they're residing here. We could sort it. And let's just say this is my template. This is the average order that I receive. I could just load that. And all I need to do now is change the invoice number to a unique number, so different than the one that already appears here, and update the date to the date that the invoice was received, and then edit any of the items I needed to change. You could delete the whole line item, or you could come in and just open it like I just showed you a moment ago and make whatever edit. For instance, I received 5 cases of that instead of 1. And we're going to just close that because we don't want to change anything. I'm going to clear that. And that's how you enter a manual invoice. We'll go back to the invoice page. In our next video, we will cover the features that come from having those invoices, and specifically price trends and menu analysis.